Hello everyone and welcome again to Quillsoft Presents. Today we're going to be taking a look at using ReaderQ with ThoughtQ. So we've done a previous video on ThoughtQ, so you can take a relook at that to be able to familiarize yourself with where we're at. But we have not touched on ReaderQ yet. ReaderQ right now is a free extension on Chrome. You will notice as we proceed through this video tutorial where you can locate it on your screen once you've downloaded it. So without further delay, let's get a reminder as to where we were previous to this video. So where we're at is finding unfamiliar words in our ThoughtQ topic list so that we're able to not only define them so that we can understand them better, but also to gather new information, new learning that connects two words that we previously would have thought are not connected at all, but in reality are, and then leading to that connection. And further from that connection, we get an opportunity to see what that new learning is all about. So let's take a look at tip number 1.
Use ThoughtQ's dynamic topic list search button to find articles connected to an unfamiliar word in a topic.
So up until we were using the ThoughtQ to find the definition, which was this little book here to the side of the number 75, we were completely offline. The minute that we went to find the definition, we noticed that we were moving to an online situation. And the same holds true here because of the fact that we need to use the browser to be able to help us out. So let's take a look at what it says down below. ThoughtQ technology provides safe search access to web pages that have been filtered using your topic word and your unfamiliar word combined. So what we will do then here is we will begin to raise and lower our shades just as we practiced before. So we can raise the shade of our Word document so that we can reveal our browser, which is already opened. Okay, and in this case, we're ready to proceed. So if we click on Calcite and we click on the little search icon, that is the magnifying glass, you'll notice that it brings up articles that are now connected to the topic of fossils. As I mentioned earlier, we talked about accessing ReaderQ and being able to make sure that we see everything on our screen at the same time. And so you'll notice that I can raise and lower my Word document as needed, or raise and lower my browser as needed, depending on what I need to see more of. ReaderQ technology provides tools to help you paraphrase text from the web while reducing plagiarism. So when you take a look at the regular article, and we'll open that up down below and allow you to see it a little bit better, you'll notice that some websites are really good at providing text. This one's not bad at all, but there are some like Wikipedia that only serve to confuse students and sometimes use wording that is overwhelming for them. So in this case, we want to make the learning situation as simple as possible for our students. So you'll notice here on the URL toolbar that once you download ReaderQ from the Chrome store or from our website, you can click on it once it establishes itself right beside that URL line. Once you've got that page established down below, there's a few things that you can do with it. So let's read about those things first. And just a reminder to you that these documents that I'm using are available to you online. You can download them anytime that you want to. You can have them beside you or on your screen as you're actually running through these videos so that you can do a lot of these activities for yourself. So let's take a look at tip number 3.
Use the accessibility tools to become a more active reader.
What do we mean by a more active reader? Well, we mean that you participate in the learning, that you're reading, but not only for the sake of reading, but you're reading for the sake of understanding. And really, this is where ReaderQ really comes into play. So, as I mentioned, becoming an active reader is really important. ReaderQ technology eliminates distractions and allows you to adjust text to make reading easier. Let's take a look at what some of those tools are all about, and we'll raise our shade so that we can have a little bit more access but still be able to see our document in behind. So you'll notice that the title is there, you'll notice that all the text is there, but that's all there is. There isn't anything else. So I've got a couple of opportunities to adjust the text. Number 1 is I can change the font to a font that I appreciate and works for me. I can increase the size of the text, and you'll notice that as I increase it on my screen, it makes it a little bit more visible. Or I can decrease the size of that text as well. I can increase the space between the lines to focus a little bit more on the words that are in that on that line, or I can decrease that space depending upon what my visual accuracy might be, visual acuity might be. I can actually increase the space between those letters. For those that are struggling with dyslexia, this is a great tool for you. And then be able to maybe shrink those if I need them to be a little bit closer together. In this case, the margins are pretty tight, but if you needed them to be tighter, you can actually shrink the margin size, or you can increase the margin size to take advantage of the screen. This is probably my favorite tool, which allows you to copy and paste any information into this area to protect it. And I'll speak a little bit more about what I mean in protection in a moment. Now that you've got things where you want them in terms of the setup and the ability to read that text, let's take a look at what tip number 4 tells us about the reading mode.
Use the read feature to listen and understand while following along.
ReaderQ technology eliminates distractions and allows you to adjust text to make reading easier and to focus on the content. So let's take a look at how we do that. Again, I'll raise my shade and I'll take a look at the next button beside the copy and paste button. Right now, if you leave the cursor there, you'll see that the tag will say switch modes. So we're going to switch that mode to the read mode. And in this case, you'll see it's the read mode by the little speech bubble that's in there. Now I can go down on my screen and I can click in an area and you'll notice that it will highlight the entire sentence. Beside that button that I just used to switch to read mode is the actual read button. To move down to the next sentence, you can just click in the next sentence and click read again. So you'll notice that it reads it a sentence at a time, but you're in control of that reading in terms of the speed of going through it. We always suggest to students when you're summarizing an article for being able to actually jot down notes and key points, you need to read it over and over again or have it be read to you over and over again until you actually understand it. Once you've read through the document over and over again, you get an opportunity to begin selecting. Let's see what tip 5 says to us.
Use this.
So ReaderQ technology places limits on how many words you can select together in a sentence or sequentially, and in a sentence, a paragraph, or a complete document. So let's take a look at how that function works. Again, raising my shade so I can see it a little bit better. Now we're going to switch modes from reading to selecting, and you'll see the little mouse pointer in that little box with the green areas that are kind of highlighted on the lines. Let's take a look at that first sentence again. So we know that calcite is a mineral. That's probably an important word to take. So I can click it and you'll notice that those words now appear on the right hand side. Consisting largely of calcium carbonate. So that's probably important. The next sentence says, next to quartz, it is the most abundant of the Earth's minerals. So quartz is important and abundant is important. So you'll know that we are taking those words on the side. And as a matter of fact, I might want to have abundant first because it will show me that I can have a hint as to what to write in my own sentence when I take those words over. And the last area here is crystallizing in a hexagonal system. Calcite is noted for its wide variety of crystalline forms. Oh, there we go. What do you notice about that? It turns red. So within that gray area that's highlighted in the background, it's telling me that I've taken too many words in that paragraph. So now I have to rethink about what words I might want to take. In actuality, I don't really need forms. So take a look at the words that you have on the right hand side. Make sure that you're analyzing them critically to make sure that they're the words that you know so that you can put together a sentence of your own. As I mentioned earlier, you have an opportunity here to be able to reselect and rearrange your words. Critically analyze your choices to make sure that you have what you need. ReaderQ's selected points are displayed on the right hand side where you can shuffle them or click to move the text to where that point was highlighted. So again, let's take a look at how to do that. I mentioned you may want to be able to adjust them just by moving them around so that they make more sense to you. Go. The next section allows you to actually take those words that you've selected, copy and paste them into your document. When they're in your document, you can play connect the dots, and as you connect the dots of what those words mean, you can create your own sentence. So let's take a look at how that works. So I've got my words down this side, I can copy them, and then I want to lower my shade and increase the size of my document so that I can copy and paste. And I'm going to paste special, and I want the unformatted text. And it happened to underline it, but that's okay. It kind of gives you the idea. So here I've got the title. And then down below I've got all my keywords. But watch what happens when I turn on my word box. Turn on my prediction box. And now all of a sudden those words make sense because they're part of my prediction list. There's mineral. There's quartz. There's abundant. There's hexagonal. And there's crystalline. So all of these words now become part of my prediction list. Also, you get the URL. And why is that important? Because then you can cite it. Or if you need to actually quote it word for word, you've got the ability to put that into your bibliography. Or if you create it and put it into your own sentence, you still have protection if anyone asks you where you got that information. So to summarize what we did today, ReaderQ is free. Visit www.quillsoft.ca/ReaderQ to download. Once you have it downloaded, then begin to use it to help you summarize notes and protect yourself from plagiarism.